Okay, so now we're going to be checking for pubic symphysis, deep sulcus, and Maleolus discrepancies. So I have Carrie on the table, face up, and we're going to have her bend her knees and put her feet under her hips. And then she's going to move towards a yoga bridge. So she's just going to elevate the hips as high as she can, and then set them down nice and slow and slide and extend the legs long. Now I'm going to the base of the table. You can't see me great down here. Let me see. I'm going to turn this for just a second. Okay. And then I like to give just a little traction here. Feels really good and helps to release any tension with that traction and get everything lined up where it naturally may be. And we kind of release and let that go. And then I like to check below and above the malleolus just to get a better gauge. So sometimes you have discrepancies in the actual structure of the ankle, foot, or leg, but this is checking for like large leg length discrepancy, like 1/2 inch or more, because that will show up and that will cause dysfunction. Again, most of the time what we're dealing with is more of a functional discrepancy than a structural one, and so that's what we're looking to correct as well. But it's good information for you either way. So she is pretty nice and even, and if you can't tell, you can always bring people's feet together. That will oftentimes make it show up more. You just want to make sure that you're in their midline. So it does make it more pronounced, and it'll also show you if they have like lateral rotation of the foot or anything, which almost everybody does. So yeah, she doesn't really have a discrepancy here. We've been doing this work for a long time, but that also hasn't been a key presenter for her for most of it. But it is imperative to check on everybody. So now while she's here, I'm gonna check for the pubic symphysis. This one is a hard one to get the right angle of the camera to show you, so I'm gonna more like describe what I'm doing. But we're gonna check the top right above the pubic bone. So you always ask for consent. Carrie, is it okay if I touch your pubic area?
Yes.
Thank you. And so we know she's lined up because we did these pre-setups for her alignment. And now I'm gonna come from the top. You always wanna be on your dominant side. So it's actually, if you hit with your left or bat with your left or golf with your left, then you can come from the left side, but typically just come from your dominant side because your eye is going to be better there. And then you lean over the center, and I have a thumb on either side of her pubis above the pubic bone, and I'm just really gently pressing down and trying to see if there's any discrepancy there. So she is actually a little high on her left right now, and by a little we're talking about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes it's more, it can be more pronounced on people, but even that small amount is worth a correction. So we're gonna now have her turn onto her tummy for me and scoot down so that the feet are hanging off the edge of the bed. And she was high on her left there. And so what that tells us is that sometimes it can be a torsion, but oftentimes the ligaments around the pubis are just tightened on one side. So now the best way to do this is you actually hop up on the table, and then I'm gonna be palpating right around her sacrum. And so this one is probably the hardest test to teach. It's really kind of experiential, and all sacrums and glutes are different, but you're looking for this sulcus, which is just Latin for hollow, and you use your middle finger and you're gently searching around. And now when you're in the right place, you should be able to sink pretty deeply and not cause any pain. Is that uncomfortable?
No.
Okay, so that's how you know you're in the right spot. If people are going, ow, you know you're in the wrong spot. So you're sinking down, and usually you can get fairly deep. This will tell you if there's a sacral torsion, if one finger goes in much deeper than the other. And so here we have a slight one today. Her left is much more deep today. So that means that her sacrum is tilted that way, okay? So those are our tests for today, and then we'll be doing some corrections.